let's be honest. You know, if there's one thing about me, if you don't know me yet, one thing I can promise you'll get is the truth. You guys know that, okay? None of us knew if this was even going to happen a few months ago. We didn't know if this business would still be here, right? People say all the time, well, how did you stay so positive and not knowing? I was like, I didn't. What do you mean stay positive? Like, when you're going through it and you don't know what's going to happen on the other end, you just kind of deal with it, right? But it gets back to why you started in the first place, your mindset. So let me tell you that story. It's a good one. When Danielle called me, we hadn't spoke, I don't even know, after our last business together. We always communicated, on Facebook and a message and this, right? But she sent me a text one day and she said, I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to introduce you. Here's what she said. I'd like to introduce you to my business partner. I'm thinking, I have no idea what she's talking about, but she certainly piqued my interest, right? I was like, yeah, let's set up. We get on a Zoom and she introduces me to somebody named Rodney. And I didn't know what to expect. You know, I figured some executive corporate suit guy, whatnot. And I get on and I see this surfer dude with the long hair and he had it pulled. And the funny thing is, we just were watching Cobra Kai, which is like, Terry Silver, there he is, man. If you guys have seen Cobra Kai. And it was so funny, right? And even Larry said, she's like, oh my God, he looks just like him, you know? So, but here's the story behind that I want to share with you guys. As you know, we moved to Italy. July will be 2 years. And right before I left, I thought I was retired, like financially free. I had so many streams of income that I've built over my entire life at 48 years, well, I'm 48 now, I guess 46. And I just thought I was set. Not rich, but free. And there's a big difference between rich and free, because I think if we're honest and know this, in a business like this, it's good to show the bling. It's good to show the money, the yachts, the Rolex, the this, the that. But be careful, because your average person that you're talking to, your friends, your family, your coworkers, at the end of the day, not that they don't care about that, but that stuff will not move them to action. It's paying off their credit cards. It's spending more time with their family. It's upgrading where they live, right? Driving a better vehicle, going on the vacations they want. It's the intangibles. And I think at the end of the day, if you boil it down, guys, what people want more than anything in this world, if we're all honest, we want freedom of time. And so what I used to teach when I used to coach real estate investors for quite a few years, people getting started, I'm a waitress, I'm a this, I'm a that, I want to flip houses, right, like you do, I want to make money in real estate. So I would always start off and say, listen, you have a number, and it's called your financial freedom number. What do you mean? Well, add up all your bills, right? Come up with a number of what it takes you to survive. You got your rent, your mortgage, your car payments, you know. And then once you have that number, now you know what you need to earn to replace it. So if you had a way to replace your income, guys, again, we're not talking about getting rich. For some people, that's $2,000 a month. For some people, it's 20 grand a month. But everybody has their number. And once you, and this is a challenge for every one of you, identify what that number is for you. What is your freedom number? Because once you know what the number is, now you have something to shoot towards. And it's not a matter of, for most people, well, I need, Bri, to live my life comfortably, I need 8 grand a month, about 100 grand a year. All right, but if you started making an extra 8 grand a month, you can't just retire yet, because you probably should first pay for what you already bought, which is your debt, right? So getting debt free and helping people along this cycle. So these are the things that I learned, right? These are the things I learned. So getting back to when Danielle called me, I want to tell you what happened the day before. The day before, I realized that not only was I not retired, but my life was falling apart financially. See, because it started after COVID, where all of my income streams slowly started going away. This company canceled the contract, this affiliate relationship, this over here, that, and one by one, they were getting taken away from me, and that's how I felt. I don't have a job. I haven't had a boss for 20 years. I'd rather kill myself than have a boss, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know how some of you do it, let's be honest. Like people say all the time, well, I don't really know if I want to build a network marketing business. Bro, you want to get up Monday and go to work? Like, do you really love your boss? And here's another good one, right? Well, I don't know. Some of those speakers, man, I just can't relate with people like that, and I don't know if I can be in business like that. how about your office? Do you love everybody you work with? What the hell are you talking about, you know? So really understanding that this is such a unique business, right? And so when she called me, the day before, I did something I hadn't done for a really long time. I prayed on my knees. I don't know why, maybe because I was born and raised Catholic, you know, genuflect the whole up, down a million times during the Mass. But anyway, I got on my knees thinking it would give me a little more juice with God. And I swear to God, I pray, but I said, well, maybe I should kneel down, you know? And I'm praying to God, and the next thing you know, I was crying. And I was crying not out of sadness or anything, but out of desperation. You ever just not know what to do and you feel like you're hanging on by a thread? Because I didn't know financially how to provide for my family. I was running through my savings, right? Thinking, man, this isn't how it's supposed to be. This is not what I thought. And guys, looking back in my life, so many things, dare I say most things, none of them turned out the way I wanted them to or how I thought they would. And I learned that when I got involved in real estate. Do we have any people in here in real estate? Agents, investors, anybody? Quite a few. All right. And by the way, that's one of the biggest demographics for direct sales. So you're in the right place. But I just didn't know what was going to happen. But getting back to real estate, every deal I've ever closed, there was always a problem, a challenge. How many deals blow up right before you get to the closing table? Because this guy went out and financed the car and just, threw his DTI out of whack or something crazy, you know? So these things happen. But as I'm sitting there and I'm praying to God, I'm crying just out of desperation. Here's the key. I surrendered completely. And I don't know how to describe that to you, but I just basically gave up. I said, all right, Lord, I quit. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the next move is, but I need your help. The next day, she called. And here we are. You understand? So that's the power. There's so many analogies there, and I have so few time, 10 minutes, I have 1.5 million things to share with you guys. And by the way, let me pause there and share something with you. This is a good one. So many of you we met in the hallway. And by the way, I want to sincerely thank every one of you that came up to me and thanked me. Brian, I've seen your videos, your lives, your trainings in the corporate. It means so much to me. And when I tried my best to give everybody a hug and a kiss, that's what I do. COVID's gone, relax. And, and look everybody in the eye and ask them, well, where are you from? What's your name? Because it means something to me that you took the time. Who's this guy, Jersey, living in Italy? He came up, thank you. And that means a lot to me. So thank you, guys. Thank you, okay? But one of the things I wanted to share is that so many of you said, well, how do you know what you're going to, what are you going to talk about? And I shared the story, like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. When we came to do the rehearsal, a lot of the speakers went through their whole speech and they prepare it, and that's what most people do. And they're like, well, you want to do your speech? We're like, no, I can't do that. What do you mean you can't? Practice. Because until I get up here, I don't know what I'm going to say. You know what I mean? Like, I don't script it. But here's why. Somebody asked me, they were asking me so many times, well, how do you do that? And, well, I'll give you the secret to my secret. I will give you the words I want you to say. I will cover you with my hands and protect you. I made the heavens and the earth, and you are my people. Isaiah, okay? And while we're at it, I got one more. For the Holy Spirit will teach you in that very hour what you ought to say. And here I am delivering this message to whoever has ears to hear, okay? Because, guys, we don't have much time, all right? I got 8 minutes to share what you need to know to take this weekend, this event, and change your life. And that's not just some BS, hype, crap. I don't play that game. Listen, in my career as a real estate guru and speaking on stages and all the wonderful things I've done that God blessed me with, I was approached by so many direct sales network marketing companies, right? And I'll tell you, one of the biggest excuses I always gave them all is, hey, listen, I said it too. A lot of you guys probably said it. Well, you know what? Nobody makes money in those things unless you're at the top. Nobody makes money in those things unless you got in early, right? We've all thought it, said it. And I guess there's kind of an element of truth to that. Not that nobody makes money unless you got in early, but there is a distinct unfair advantage to being in a network marketing company early. Can we agree to that? Okay. But just like standing in the garage doesn't make you a car, sitting in this seat doesn't make you a business builder. You're a member of Awakened, but are you a builder, right? And so when it comes to building, it all comes down to mindset. Guys, let's see, I probably should use a few slides. So you've been deceived because every one of you thinks something about this industry that's not true, and until you experience it yourself, you won't know. See, when I was a kid, 18, my uncle, after I graduated high school, signed me up in Amway. And I never really made any money, but I got to give those guys a lot of credit. Not only are they like the OG of the industry, and it wasn't the soaps and the vitamins and all that good stuff. By the way, anybody ever in Amway in this room? Hey, oh, there you go. I was in the Bill Britt organization. Remember that maniac? Anyway, I never made any money, but I would always attend the events. And they said, Bri, if you want to make it in this business, and I'm going to share this with you because this is the secret to how those Amway millionaires made it, and we don't talk about it enough today. And they said, you need to plug people in. See, this business is on the side. This business is not something that you do all the time. Most of you, all of you, if not, have a job, a business, some way that you generate money for your family. This is on the side. So if it's not constantly checking your Facebook group, constantly posting things, constantly reading books every day to educate yourself, positive mental attitude books, you're going to drift away and it's not going to be front and center for you. So keeping this in your focus, right? Escape the matrix, that's a whole nother talk. I'm sorry, I got to save that for another day. But Jedi Knight level is a great thing because with this technology, guys, look, maybe it's because I live in Italy and I couldn't be on some of the Zooms, or maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I don't know what happened 2 days ago when I heard about all this and I really started to let it sink in to the point where I go home and I'm thinking, this is like next level. This is next level. And it's not about per se the technology, it's the synergistic combination of everything being, once again, like Mike Amato has always taught me and basically said, it's the exclusivity of our product, which is what makes it unique, but it's the exclusivity and the uniqueness of all of the future products that will come, which is going to keep us unique. So it's not just another MLM, another vitamin company, another this, that, the other, right? We need to be different. We need to be exciting. So now we have these wonderful products, and to have a device to amplify them. Somebody said to me yesterday, you're like, oh, now we're going to go around selling these machines. I'm like, you missed it. You missed it. There's no profit in the machine for us as members, as distributors. We only get 100 points. I'm thankful for it, but it's not like a sell. Does that make sense? It's not like now we're going to run around trying these. No. Getting the people who are using our products to use the machine to have the highest, best possible result from them is what really sets us apart. You understand? So consider it a tool, an add-on, but not the thing. And I'm not taking away from the insane technology, but I'm saying how we present this, how we market this is what's going to determine our level of success with that. And that's why I'm so happy for all the, as Dr. Peterson and Dr. Stephanie Rivka were saying about the training videos and all the things. What we've put together, the field will be armed. Do I pace a lot? Yeah, I guess I do. So the field will be armed with everything they need. I learned a long time ago that reading changes everything, guys. This book is that Jedi Knight level stuff. It's by Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference, and all I can tell you is he's a former FBI hostage negotiator, and the things that I learned in this book, I got the audio version as well. And by the way, it's a life-changing experience, okay? Because you truly learn mindset, how to interact and how to deal with and how to persuade other people, okay? Now, real quick, any entrepreneurs in here, here's the thing that you guys need to understand. With this technology, with the ability to take this out there and move it. If you're an entrepreneur, meaning you have your own business, right? What I'm asking you to do as you leave this weekend is analyze and treat this like any other business. This is a major play, guys. This is not like just some little thing. This is one of those things that as we leave this area and introduce this to the marketplace, we're the only game in town. Do you understand that? That's something to get excited about, man. We're the only game in town. We have something that nobody else has. So if you understand that, and that's why getting back to the NFTs, and a lot of people didn't understand that with the digital collectibles. They're like $3,500, and now I regret it. I'm like, listen, John, you have a weekly paycheck for 5 years because of what you spent. Now, even if you screwed it up for the first 2 years to actually have a team to get that check match, You have 3 years of weekly paychecks. So don't think you made a mistake. Don't start thinking, oh, what about this? What about that? Oh, the first product didn't work for me or a lot of people on my team. Well, how about the revised version? Well, there's some people it still didn't work for. Nothing works 100% across the board. What are you talking about? But now we have these other products and technology. So the point is this, guys, you got to just hang in there, right? Because we're in the right place at the right time with the right people, with a debt-free company that has money in the bank, no outside investors, unique, exclusive products that are going around the whole world with or without you and with or without me, okay? Somebody said, well, oh, did you ever think about quitting? No. And that's one thing I'll tell you right now. I never thought about quitting because here's the thing. I never wanted to do this again, network marketing. I never wanted to do it. Can we be honest? You know, like, who wants to be a network marketer? Some people do, but I don't know, man. It's just like, it's one of those things where I forgot how much I loved it until I got back involved, you know? Because when I got in Amway, and I would sit in the audience, I had a dream. My dream was one day to be that guy on stage. Not out of some egotistical thing, because I was actually very shy back then, and very insecure. But I saw the impact they had on people's lives. And Joe Folio, I would watch this man get off the stage and watch people in the hallways just, remember back in the 90s, have these cassette recorders holding it up to his mouth, just catching every word he said, because they wanted to be, I almost said like him, they wanted to have the things that he had. So in a business like this, we have ranks for that, right? Ruby, by the way, this roadmap to Ruby, the road to Ruby, is a great first place to set your sights for every one of you. If you fell back, if you get back to Ruby, for your brand new people as they come on board, because Ruby, I don't know, I mean, it's kind of hard, there's so many variables, but I think it's at least about $1,000 a month. Guys, that's life-changing for most people. A lot of you made a significant sacrifice to be here this weekend, and you didn't have the money, and you really didn't have the time, and maybe you borrowed it, and maybe you scraped it together, and we all put on our best clothes and looked the best, but it was hard for you to get here. It was hard for you because of the commitment. Yeah, the time is one thing, but let's be honest. Most people, it's the money. And we have a business here that can provide that money. Because if you were making, again, just at Ruby, I'm not taking away saying just at Ruby, but imagine if you every month had an extra $1,000 deposited into your checking account. It changes things, guys. And when you get to Diamond, the best I can kind of calculate it, I think it's around $2,000 a month. Me and Chip were talking about that. About $2,000 a month at Diamond. So Diamond is like, to me, Ruby's almost like, just skip past Ruby. Something about the word Diamond, maybe because I was in Amway and that was the top rank, I don't know. But Diamond's cool, right? Everyone else, you know, for those of you who haven't had a business, it's one of those things that you have a job, you do something to make money. You have the ability to incorporate this into your life, into those nooks and crannies, you know? Don't feel like you have to do this a part-time effort, 20 hours a week or 80 hours a week or 2. You see, that's the beautiful thing about you being in business for yourself but not by yourself. You get to decide when you put that time in and how much time is. But the more you can crystallize and identify what you want, the easier it's going to be to put that work in and to put the time aside to actually do it, right? Common sense. Now, everybody know this, guys? I was joking, I was messing around with this guy because I had that song Conquest from Rocky. I wanted to walk out to that. One of my favorite movies of all time, guys. You know, you remember the scene? Anybody remember the scene? There is no tomorrow, Rock. There is no tomorrow, you know? Actually, he said it more like, what's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow. Every one of you. Well, let's just get into it. I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, spread throughout my entire body on July 1st, 1993. I was 18. You don't expect that, right? And my whole world stopped, you know. The day after they diagnosed me, the morning after I went in for surgery. 5 days later, I had a needle in my arm getting pumped full of chemotherapy. 2 weeks later, I was completely bald. And life moves just that quick, right? And in fact, the reason I have triplets today is because of all the treatments and things I had to go through. You know, they froze my sperm and said, well, you're probably going to have kids one day. And I never knew that when they implanted that into my ex-wife that I got triplets. I have 3 20-year-old boys. Again, Vincenzo's here today. So the blessing from what could have been the worst thing in my life. There he is up front, Vincenzo. So, you know, guys, we don't know how much time we have, and I'm over. I got to speed this up. I only got another minute. At the end of the day, we don't know how much time we have. And I know so many of you are still skeptical, and what about this, what about that, I think that the key takeaway to this whole thing is to understand that what this business provides, what Rodney and Ashley and Danielle and Scott and everybody here is providing is simply the vehicle. It's the platform. And you can take it to wherever you want. You want to make 20 grand a month or a day or a week. In other words, you decide what that is. And we're going to continue to put together the tools and the resources to help you get there. Because guys, for me, I try not to remember these times because they were tough. You know you're going to die, what's happening. They were tough. But I think it's necessary to look back and remember how short life really is. Because at the end of the day, we do what we have to do to make money. But most of us are doing things that if we had the ability to choose not to do it, we wouldn't do it. But there's a little thing called like kids and food and stuff that you kind of need to make money, right? So I'll tell you one thing. I made a promise to God when I didn't know if I was going to live. Remember, Amway, Joe Folio, stages. I said, Lord, I want to get up on stage one day, and I want to help people. And I'm shy, and I don't really know. I said, but help me be a Joe Folio. Help give me the charismatic, personality. So when I get off a stage, people will feel moved into action, moved into thinking a different way. And I said, Lord, if you save my life, preserve my life, I make a commitment this day. I was in Jefferson Hospital in Philadelphia, dying. I said, if you save me, and when I'm on stage one day, if I ever get there, I will never leave with a mic attached to me without giving you, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, all the credit for making me alive today. And every one of you needs to know that, okay? And maybe that's not politically correct, but it's the truth, whether you know it or not, all right? So, guys, it's time to run, okay? It's time to run because we don't have much time left, all right? Everybody stand up, please. Here's the thing you have to understand. When you have a dream, when you have a vision and you know it's something that moves you, guys, it's not time. Don't walk. Now it's time to run, okay? And in my opinion, set this goal for diamond because that's what's going to start to get you free. It's diamond. Say diamond. Diamond. What are you going to go? Diamond. 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 Say it. Diamond. 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 Diamond.